Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Questionable Perspective podcast. This is episode, I believe, episode 10. I'm going to say
It should be 12. Let me double check.
12.
Oh no. Hold on. We don't even know our episodes. No. Hold on. I'm checking. Work with me here. Oh, yep, it's 12. It's 12. It's episode 12, everybody. Continue.
Episode 12, everybody. And we're here today to talk about the latest movie that just came into the theaters, which is Five Nights at Freddy, which you may know is I guess it's a popular video game. I'm not going to say it is or not
Oh,
because
it
I've
is.
never played it.
It is. It's one of the most popular by far. Let's say the first Five Nights already came out. It's based off a book series. It's think like Goosebumps in a sense.
Mm,
The first Five
okay.
Nights at Freddy's came out in like 2014. There we go.
Oh, so okay. So it's about almost a decade old.
It's getting there, yeah.
So, what did you think about the movie? Because you actually went to the theaters and saw it. I watched it on streaming on Peacock. So,
I
what are
guess we'll
your
start with
thoughts
me
on it?
then. What'd you say?
I'll say, what are your thoughts on it?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like honestly, I was a bit skeptical on some parts, but it's like, all right, there are some minor changes we'll get into, but overall the experience was nice. It stuck to the lore. The thing is, when you like you, you almost have to follow certain like YouTubers just to understand the lore. It seems silly, but if you read the books, you'll know the lore too. They don't do just to give a little premise. There's the animatronics come to life due to being possessed by like souls of the children that have been murdered, unrest basically. So yeah, that's it's a fun little kids movie. It's a little definitely an interesting theme. I'll give them that. But I mean, I have no complaints. I mean, apparently, this was something I read about. Markiplier was supposed to play the very first security guard that we see within like the first like 20 minutes of the movie.
He must stream the game a lot.
Oh, he did. He was one of the popular YouTubers for that. Also, Matt Pat, the game theorist, he shows up in the movie. Markiplier was supposed to show up in this one, but due to scheduling conflicts, he didn't. But we'll get into that a little bit more later. And don't worry, folks, we will be putting up a spoiler tag on YouTube. So to be warned, it's very hard to talk about this movie without spoilers almost. But Mr.
No,
Chris, what you think?
I think I had fun with it. I had fun with it for what it was. I like I said, I didn't go into it thinking it was going to be some deep psychological thing.
How much of the
Uh,
series did you know about?
I somewhat know about it just from basically being the popular zeitgeist thing. I know a lot of people talk about Five Nights at Freddy. I know a lot of other games are being inspired by Five Nights at Freddy's. What's the one that everybody plays now? Uh, Dead by Daylight, or it's just a roguelike. Or supposed to be kind of similar to Five Nights.
Well, Five
They,
Nights, you sit in one little room trying to prevent the animatronics from murdering you, basically. Uh, Death
like I
by
said, I
Daylight, or is it Dying by Daylight? Whatever. People will have to forgive me for not knowing all these games names right off the top of my head. It well, you're avoiding the killer while trying to like start up these engines and whatever.
you know, but look, I liked it. I thought it was a fun movie. Some of like the ending, I felt like it was definitely the ending was kind of telegraphed. The one of the characters basically once you the first time you meet this person, you pretty much know okay, they know a lot more than what they're letting on because this is just too
You can
convenient.
go ahead and talk about who they are. No need to warn. Wait, listen. I will put a spoiler warning in the very beginning of this. They'll have to have at it.
Okay, uh, there's a female police officer who just out of for no reason just ends up coming to Freddy's place, and it's obvious from the first time she opens her mouth that she knows way more about what's going on than what she leads on about. She kind of does try and help our main character a bit. They kind of like, you might want to leave this job, you might want to get out of here, try to scare him off. But it's very telegraphed, and I'm not sure if that was a intentional thing, like they want you to know like she knows more, or if that's just a bad writing, a bad writer.
I wouldn't say it's bad writing. Like I said, this was this generation's Goosebumps, so it lets on a bit.
The subplot I thought was kind of unnecessary. The whole child custody thing with the sister, and eh,
I don't know. I think it really brought it. It was a really good subplot considering
I would have rather them have focused a lot more on the main character's more psychological trauma, what happened with him and his brother,
they
and
did.
him having to deal with it instead of always the auntie, and I gotta talk to the counselor and stuff. Like, okay, this is stuff that could have been cut out of this movie. It's not really important. The aunt is just basically there to get a cheap kill
She
for
didn't die.
the.
She went to sleep.
I thought 'cause I know one of the
Yes, they
animatronics
did
was.
kill her, man. Just going with what Freddy said. She's just sleeping.
Yeah. I'm like, I thought that could have been like. It's certain parts of the movie I felt like they could have trimmed this, but I know they're trying to make a certain runtime, so I could. It's a lot. To me, it's just a lot of fluff in some places. Where if I'm a director or something, I would have kind of cut those to kind of keep the story flowing a lot better, more so than just interjecting these moments of the auntie and him having to talk with her, and then the babysitter that's not really friends with him, but she's a spy for the aunt. I'm like, okay, this is really unnecessary. I I get it. You're setting up the cannon father to go in there and be put to sleep by the animatronics.
Put to sleep? What are you talking about? What have we got? Like chomped in half in the shadows.
Yeah, I don't know what YouTube would allow you to say nowadays. I said I just felt like it was a little some fluff in there that could have been trimmed, but overall, the movie's fun. It's definitely a fun little movie to watch for especially Halloween being right around the corner.
Yeah, it's definitely this Halloween movie, and it definitely took the box office. That's just, I find it
Did it
ridiculous.
did it
Yeah,
do better? Did it do better than
it did better than the Mario movie.
the Exorcist?
I think so.
I said that it made $1 billion.
Let's check here. Let me give us 1 second. We're looking up the box office the first night of the movie.
Let's see here.
I'm trying to think. Here's a budget. A budget. Sales. Let's go with sales. It made 78 million in North America.
Hmm.
Globally, 130 million.
Huh. I'm surprised at that, honestly.
That's just this opening weekend.
That's actually pretty good. I'm really surprised at that. Honestly, I did not think it would be that popular.
Dude, it's based off a popular game franchise. You want you want to rethink that?
Like I said, I've never played this. I don't really know how pop. I've heard about it in passing, but I
Dude,
never really played it. So
it
I've never
is
been in that community.
It is nuts. Like Minecraft was quite a popular game, then it went on to the next. Let's see. Apparently, the game costed around 50 million, according to what I'm reading from Variety here. But
Hmm.
it exploded. It did better than the Exorcist Believer. It did better than Nun 2. Whoever, no one asked for Nun 2.
Well, the first one was kind of scary.
That first one was like it didn't really even need a second one. Now the other movie I'm quite interested in seeing is Killers of the Flower Moon. That'll be another weekend, maybe see. But I mean, overall, I mean that they did a great job with the animatronics. I don't know if those were suits or not. It's the only thing I couldn't tell at times.
Yeah, that's what I was having a hard time telling because just well, I ain't gonna say I couldn't tell they were suits, but you could they did a good job with the sound design that made you feel like they had weight when they were moving around. Uh, I don't know how they did it because some of them like okay, the legs are way too skinny for a person to be in it unless they're CGI in it, unless they're CGI them out.
There's probably some CGI here and there. Not too
But I do
crazy.
but I do like the fact that they didn't do a lot of CGI and it was a lot of seemed to be a lot of practical effects, like with the animatronic, the little dolls and everything.
Oh,
You know,
definitely.
they didn't go crazy with CGI only when they really needed to for like the the kills and stuff like that. But I'm just trying to think, what was it something else that I didn't like? I know. What did you think of the whole subplot with the aunt and her having the little spy on the inside and paying people to basically get dirt on the nephew?
I mean, it's there for its whatever reasons. The part where he's going back to that one part of his childhood and dream sequences just to try to like find out who killed his brother. And like within oh god, was it the last 20 minutes? It's like William Afton shows up. It's like, yeah, I killed your brother. Now I'm gonna kill you too. I'm like, bro. I was like, well, that's quick, fast. I mean, well, you didn't know who actually William Afton was till he takes off the hat, and it was the guy that recruited him to the security job. And Vanessa, I believe, is her name.
Hmm.
Vanessa being the daughter of William Afton was a better like subplot than like the whole aunt thing because in the games, William Afton has two sons, and everybody refers to William Afton as purple guy, or is it the son? It's the son that's always trying to stopping his father and all the evil shenanigans his father's done throughout a lot of the games. It was a bit interesting that they switched that around to a girl, but that's fine.
That's 2023 for you. If we can stick a female, if we can pick a female and put them in the movie, we're gonna do it.
I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, for people that don't understand or have any context of like playing the game, because when you play the game, you just know you got hired to a job, animatronics are moving at night for some stupid reason. You're trying not to die. It takes a lot. Like it's like Elden Ring, Dark Souls. You got to like read between the lines or the lines of the items, which is annoying. Some, which is understandable.
Which this is actually, I believe, is the third iteration of this script for this movie because one of them was turned into Willy's Wonderland, one of the rejected scripts that
Huh.
he
Oh,
wrote.
that explains why Willy's Wonderland happened.
Yeah, because I don't know. I started looking up a couple of things, and he wrote three scripts for this. The first two got rejected, and the third one was the one that they finally made into the movie. But the second one that got rejected was the one that they turned into Willy's Wonderland.
Oh, hey, that was a smart idea. And
Yeah, that's
Nicholas,
why I said. That's why when I saw it, I'm like, man, this must be a Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
I mean, Nicholas Cage did a great job in that. I mean, just not saying anything throughout the whole film.
I know. Yeah, I'm surprised my wife she even liked it.
I mean, hey,
She thought it was funny.
it was. I love the scene where you have the. Sorry, we're getting a little off topic, but the scene with the chameleon and the fairy animatronics, and they have
Yeah.
the stupid country music going off. It's like, it's like, not, are you ready to tango? Would they say? For a, so tarte trois or something. I probably mispronounced the words, but that's it's like, oh, I was rolling over.
I know my favorite part, both for me and my wife, but it burst out laughing was the part where basically he was confronting one of the animatronics, and then it was break time, and he just left the girl in there to go get his soda
Here's your
and
knife.
play
Good
pinball.
luck,
I was like, what?
bro's. Got to have
I
his
like,
pinball breaks. Give me
oh,
some.
that was funny. That to me, that was hilarious right there. Look, let's get back to this one.
Yes,
I'm
I
trying to think.
I think one of the weird. It was just a weird sequence break to me. There's only about maybe two jump scares throughout that whole movie, but the sequence where it's like you see the main character's sister start talking to the animatronics and all that. Nothing really crazy happening, and then all of a sudden start making a fort. I'm like, what the hell are y'all doing? The hell is going on here? And I mean, I get where they're going with this, but it's like this made no
Well,
sense.
technically, they're like little kids.
I mean,
Just
yeah, they're
they're just in
kids
the
trapped,
suits.
not yeah, they're kids' souls trapped in the animatronics. But they were you find out later that they're like twisted in a way because you what I thought they were going to say because originally the kids are after because when the kids died like the game or whatever they wanted revenge against Claptrap or William Afton is what the costume is called for the Yellow Bunny. They wanted revenge in the game anyways, but they went with more of the route William Afton would
Kind of keep
he
them riled up.
well, he rounded each of the kids up as you saw in like the beginning. Each he would take one away and he turned them into the animatronics and twisted them basically. He kept them like clueless or whatnot, basically.
He said something about he keeps their minds
Yeah, he
clouded so
warped
they
their
don't
minds.
remember.
He warped
So
their
they don't
perspectives.
remember. Yeah, so they don't remember. What happened.
Yeah, they don't remember, and then they start slowly finding out. And they're like, "Oh, you ones that did this to us."
Which that was a kind of a. They don't really explain it too well
Well,
exactly why the kids all of a sudden now start to break out of his hole.
well, they said, well, like with the dude and his sister's always drawing and all this and that. He didn't know that she shown the kids and all that through some of the drawings. He's like, oh. It's like, and he confronts her about it, like, can you explain this to me? How this yada 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 gets that done? Then, th- she basically through one image, which it seems a little silly at the time because it's just how it works. She draws out like, yeah, it was him that killed all of you, and they're like, eyes just turn red, turn to him. They start punching him or whatever, and then the spring trap or the spring starts locking the spring trap or
The spring locking mechanism inside
yeah, the
the
spring traps basically
place.
start kicking off and like puncturing his ribs. I was like, oh, that sucks to be you, buddy. That sucks.
Yeah, they could always make a sequel to this.
Oh,
They
they're
can always say,
definitely
well,
set up for a sequel. They are definitely set up.
cause they can always say, well, his soul got transferred, even though he died in the suit. His soul was transferred into the suit.
Well, he was in the game. He was locked in the suit. He was locked in, and then slowly soul transfer to other things. It was weird.
Mm-hmm. It's the little gnome or whatever. Is that supposed to be like a save point thing from the game?
So what now?
Because the little gnome that was he every time he opened the locker, it was always staring at him. Is that supposed to be like a save point thing where he turns it around and it's supposed to be like a save point in the game?
I don't think so. It doesn't really kind of work like that, but
That's what I thought it was. Well, maybe that's how save point. He'll see the thing and then he'll just flip it. He'll turn it around backwards, and that'll be like how he save the game or whatever at that point. I think it might have been paying homage to the game or something. I'm thinking a little too video gamey.
yeah, you're kind of going out there for the audience there, man. They're gonna be wondering what in the world's going on here. Is he okay? Don't worry, he's fine, folks. Maybe a little drunk.
Yeah, but it does open an interesting question though now with the success of Mario, the success of this movie is as are superheroes pretty much on their way out and video game characters on the next on the chopping block.
I don't think video games have always been so in and out. To be honest, man, you got to remember that.
Yeah, but I know it's. But I say that more so because they're not really making really new stuff in Hollywood. They
Oh, they're
really just
not.
looking to adapt things, and I'm like, I think
I
video
mean,
games can be, but I think it's hard to adapt a video game because a majority of a video game is you actually playing the game itself.
I think it can work as long as they're not like going completely off script from the game. It's like, okay, we have the source, the story's there. Okay, how do we adapt this to a point, make it work, and all that? That's
Well,
wherein lies some of the problems.
yeah, like the Uncharted movie.
It was okay. The this is not going to be a video game one, but this is going to be more of an anime based movie. I mean, Fist of the North Star was good, and that was like done during the early '90s.
Mhm.
Let's see
Then
here.
more recently, One Piece.
That's because that actually was that was good. That wasn't completely terrible.
I haven't seen it yet, so my wife,
It's
it's crazy because my wife actually saw it and she like, you gotta watch this show. You gotta watch it. It's called It's called One Piece. I was just like,
man,
yeah, I've
I've
been
known
watching it
about
on
this since
Netflix.
1999.
But I
But
think that's probably the better thing because the One Piece thing is probably the way things are gonna go
well, Oda
because
was
they,
heavily involved too. But you got to
yeah,
remember when they do a lot of these contracts, they're like, we don't have to respect the source material, yada yada yada.
well, that's what I like about the people who did One Piece because the people that did One Piece did Cowboy Bebop.
Well, it's the same
And
people, but yeah, Oda was
yeah,
involved though.
yeah, but they
So,
basically came out and said, "Look, yes." They basically came out and admitted, "Yeah, we screwed up with Cowboy Bebop."
oh well,
We
the
they
the
kind of they
producer
listened
was the one. I mean, the guy that created it, he was highly upset.
to, yeah, they basically, yeah, okay, we messed up on this one. They kind of basically came out to the fans and basically said, "Yeah, we messed up on it. We listened to y'all."
No, they didn't listen.
And then One Piece came out, and everybody was pretty happy with it. It's pretty happy with it. Like I think they did a good job in translating it for normies, for people who don't watch anime, and kind of bringing it
Eh,
to them. I think that's what made it so popular that it's more digestible to a normies that don't really watch anime like that.
they didn't do a bad job. I think they did fairly well. really no complaints on it, but I mean, they're like, we'll do Spy Family now. We'll do this. I'm like, you hit the e brakes right now.
Yeah, well, we
It
already
is.
know that's not their next project. Their next project is Gundam.
They've already done that. It was G Savior. Don't
No,
talk about that.
they Netflix has already got it in, already in production.
Oh, I know.
It's some
I mean,
it's the it's supposed to be like the Gundam. Is it the Mark IV or something like that?
I think so. Here, I wanna throw a snowball at you real fast while we're talking about just these like anime or just adaptations in general. Do you remember Guyver, the bio boosted armor?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the movie The Guyver?
I mean, both movies. I used to
You
love them when they came on Sci-Fi Channel.
you remember who starred in them, right?
Uh, I remember Mark Hamill,
Yeah.
but I can't remember. I can't remember the main because they switched. 'Cause I think it was a different guy for the second movie, Dark Hero.
Oh no, Mark Hamill was the CIA agent.
Yeah, he's a
Jack
CIA.
Armstrong was played as Sean.
Yeah, but I think when the second movie came out, they changed him.
Let
It
me
was a
see.
different actor.
Huh. Jack Armstrong apparently doesn't have that big much of a career. Let's see here. The Dark Hero. Give me the cast. It was David Hayter. What the hell?
Yeah, cause I said I knew because it wasn't the same guy. Because I said
Bruh.
they like, wait a minute,
I didn't know
he looked
Dave.
way different.
Damn. I was like, stop me
Yeah,
then.
cause and David Hayter was I think was trying to be like a serious actor
Yeah.
at one time.
Yeah, you're not wrong. He's trying to. I mean, the Guyver Dark Year is a great one. It's a great movie.
Yeah, I've been keeping my eye on the DVDs trying to find them, but they are really expensive.
Yeah, they are. I'll see if I can find a cheap one when I get a chance.
But I don't. I would love to see them redo do a live action. I think Guyver is probably the best one that actually can be made into a live action, more so than any other anime. Because it basically is. It's just all it is Iron Man. It's just Iron Man.
Who now?
Except it's just like it's just with except more gore in it.
I'm gonna need you to repeat that. That is not Iron Man. That is there is a contrast difference between Iron Man and Guyver.
The basic thing is that it's a guy in a suit of armor. The baseline premise of it. That what it looks like and how he fights is irrelevant to the whole thing. But I think that's why I say I think it can make the best one to translate into a live action because people are already seeing Iron Man, so they're used to that kind of thing. The only problem I would think they will run into would be the budget, the CGI budget, because you either have to go CGI or you would have to use practical effects for that movie. And I'm like, I know because I really want to see them do like the reboot series of Guyver, make that into a movie.
They might.
Because if I ever get a chance to, I'm getting that Guyver 2 statue, the black armor with the double blades on the arm.
I'll hook you up with a link real fast. Wait, now that you've said that, because if I'm not mistaken, they're reprinting some sets of the figures, and they're like 150. They're pretty cheap.
Ain't bad. I really want both of them. Sean Guyver suit and the other Guyver Unit 2.
Which one was the one that malfunctioned? Wasn't that Unit 3 or whatever got damaged?
Unit 3.
Let's see here. Anyways, back to Freddy. So we got off a little too off
Yeah.
topic.
Mm, Okay, high school. The way it ends, I think it ends okay with him.
Yeah, it's a
With
bit.
him basically, with him basically sitting in the chair. He could have everything he always wanted. He could live in his dreamland and be reunited with his family, his brother.
Well, what kills me is when you first saw the kids and he's talking to the one that's Freddy. He's like, "Well, what do you want? I'll give you anything." But and you see him drawing the rat. I was like, "Is the revenge plot already here? Is that who they want revenge against?" It's like, "Bring us the rabbit."
So did they already know? That's.
Well,
I'm
the
trying to figure
rabbit
out why would they.
William Afton made them. That was the thing.
Yeah, that's why I kind of got lost a bit on that one. Like, did they already know he was the killer, and they in the dream sequences, but they don't remember it when they're in the suits and stuff, or their spirits are bound to the suits. I'm like, that was confusing to me.
Well, as they explained that he did trick them. He sort of warped them.
Mm, I'll give it a pass. That's that. I think they should have explained it a little bit more, got a little bit more in detail about it. But cause what's the thing? Because every time they're about to, I guess when he's in this dream sequence or whatever, somehow they got him in the chair. That's about to basically a bunch of blades coming towards your face.
Yeah, he got knocked out. That's what happened. They knocked him out.
Or was it when he was taking the sleeping pills?
No, it's when he was not. They were attacking him. He got knocked out.
Mm. But that's just the weirdest way to kill somebody if you were gonna do it. Even in a horror movie, that's like kind of jigsaw-ish.
What there? Oh, that yeah. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I know they gotta get a hero some, which I do like the fact that they do set up how he gets out of the chair, and with the first kill of the movie kind of sets that whole premise up
Yep.
with the screw being somewhat loosened, and for some reason they never go back and fix it.
They're animatronics. They're not that smart.
But that's actually good pay setup and payoff. So that was fine. The whole I don't know, the little sister thing with her being well, what I want to say, her having like a what do they call it? It's not a, I guess you would call like ADHD or something.
She didn't have ADHD or anything.
I'm trying to remember. I can't remember exactly what it was. It's like uh, it was something wrong with her. I think.
She just wasn't very sociable or whatever. I mean, she didn't open up to a lot of people.
Yeah, that's about it right there. 'Cause I thought that was supposed to be the whole thing. Like, well, she doesn't fit in anywhere, so that's why she can see the ghosts and stuff, the spirits of the kids. But
I figured that was
maybe
just something she could see. I mean, her brother was seeing them too, but they were talking to him in a sense. They didn't really like him. They liked her because they wanted to turn her into one of them.
into one of them.
They tried to turn her into the Cherokee one, which I was a bit surprised about.
Is that like a? Is that from the? It was because how many are there in the game? Is it five of them or
There's
just?
like five, and they each game more get added depending on the location they're at. It's nutty.
i- Is that the one where it's like a female wolf or something?
That's in Security Breach. That's Roxanne.
Okay, okay. I just had to get it together. But they only
I
use what, four, five of the characters? I guess the original characters.
they based it from the very first game, so
Okay, so yeah, so they used basically the original characters from the first game, which if it's made that much money, there's no way they're not gonna make a sequel. And they do set it, and it does set itself up for a sequel with the little figurine or whatever it is supposed to be, somehow opening a door and getting in a car.
yeah, I don't throw it out the window yet because there's definitely some there's a lot of stuff that's been set up for that sequel because they you see the kid that was possessed by Freddy or whatever is put into the or they lock away Claptrap in the supply closet and he's just hurting and all this and that. Dear Lord.
Yeah, that's what I say. It sets itself up pretty decently if they want to make sequels, which I believe they will
They will.
eventually come back to it. Uh,
At least as long as they do not I don't know how they do this with a lot of things, but like Castlevania, great first 4 seasons. The new one comes out, they drop the ball. It's just, but I mean, these are well, excuse me, Konami doesn't really care, so it's kind of one of those things.
well,
He,
if the creator, as long as the creator stays, I think, as long as he stays pretty much
he
involved
doesn't
with
work
it.
with Konami. He's long gone. He created the Blood
Uh,
Moon series, the Curse, Bloodstain, Curse of the Moon series.
well, that sequel might be bad then.
But I mean, what's his name that wrote the games and all that? I'm sure he was a part of it.
Yeah, like I said, the one who, as long as the guy who wrote the series writes the games and stuff, probably is still involved, it'll probably be fine. Unless he's just like money, yay, whatever y'all want to do, I don't care, just give me money.
Actually, his name, forgive me, I always hate when I don't remember these names. They hated on him for a good bit. Give me a second here. Let's see. Scott Games, creator Scott Coffin. That's his name, Scott. They hated him because he donated like 10,000 to some Republican platform at one point. It's like, guys, chill the heck out. There's nothing wrong with him. Let's see.
Yeah,
Give me a second
it's
here.
getting about like that.
People just want to attack other people for dumb reasons, and people are finding out now that it's goes around comes around. It's like, what y'all expect? Let's see. I'm trying to remember who's writing the books of this. Do forgive us, but while we're doing this, all right, what do you give the film adaptation of Five Nights at Freddy's? What's the score you give it?
I'd give it a 7. Like it's a decent watch. You can have a lot of fun with it. I think a lot of people, if you have friends and stuff, Halloween, you would throw it on and just enjoy it. I I wouldn't put it in the upper echelons of like it's gonna scare you, but it's just like a fun movie to watch. It's not like I'm trying to think of a movie. The last movie I really watched that actually kind of gave me chills was the It remake, and I wouldn't put it on that same level as that movie.
Hmm,
Still
understandable.
still a good movie though.
Yeah, I'm looking over some of this stuff right now about us. Yeah, Scott does write the books too. It's crazy.
So as long as he's involved with it, like I said, it'll probably it just unless he gets to the point where he just like whatever, just give me just write a big check and I'm good. Y'all can do whatever y'all want to do with it, which is kind of how Bandai is. Cause I, not to get off topic again, but I just got the biggest, I got the biggest fear we're gonna be in for something worse than G Savior.
Listen, we just don't talk about it. It'll go away soon. I mean, it really depends on who is in the position of appointing the directors and all that. That's where it's really matters.
Cause even though it was bad, I still kind of have a soft spot in my heart for G Savior.
I'm unfriending you.
Eh, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't great because I did own it at one time, but it wasn't that. It wasn't as bad as people sometimes make it out to be. I'm like, "Nah, it's not the worst thing in the world. I've seen some terrible anime, and you could tell it was Bandai trying to make that live action leap. And I will give them that credit that they do take chances with Gundam on a lot of things. But I don't know. If I had to choose between this and Willy's Wonderland, I probably would go. Honestly, I probably would go with Willy's Wonderland. Just because I think it's a little more comedic, and it's not. I guess it's a parody since it's not really trying to be scary. It's more trying to be more of a comedy, like a with a Five Nights of Freddy skin over it.
Yeah, that's about where I'm going with it. I'll give the movie a 7.5. Definitely fun. It's definitely something. If your kids love the series, go take them to see it. If you want something, I would say more for if you're around the same age as Chris and I, late 20s, early 30s, definitely watch Willy's Wonderland. Nicolas Cage does a great job. The whole cast is great. Even for Five Nights at Freddy's, the whole cast was great. I thought they were all great choices, honestly. But here's hoping the sequel will be great. They definitely made enough money to do a sequel, and it's just
Well, what was the you probably don't have the math still up. 'Cause I'm about to say what was the budget on that movie?
I think it was somewhere around 50 million. Let me double check here. Let's see what the budget is. Uh, Holy crap! It was only 20 million.
Oh yeah, well yeah, they definitely
They
made their money
yeah,
back.
definitely. That's the big thing. I want a lot of movies not to do, like not to go so crazy off topic, but I'm not going to tell y'all to go watch this movie because of how graphic the content is, and that's very hard to sit through. But I'll use it as an example. The Sound of Freedom. That's about child trafficking, so take that as what you will. But that movie only made like on a $5 million budget,
Oh yeah,
or no, it was
made
something a little bit more than that. But they made, I think it was 15 million. But they made quadruple a bajillion dollars. I think it was like 175. It let's see here. I don't want to use it as a example, but it's the only one I can think of right off the top of my head that sat in a. They had to buy the movie back though. By the way, for those that don't know, to give it a little history. Yeah, it was 14.5 million was the budget, and it grossed over $238 million. But it sat in like Disney's vault because they owned the rights to it when they picked up Fox for like 3 years.
mm-hmm.
I think the movie originally costed like 5 million to make, but then you have to buy the rights back. That's why it was a bit heavy. But
Well,
I mean,
that's really more so the way a lot of these movies need to go instead of these large $250 million budgets and stuff. Like, because when you're talking that kind of money, you're talking $250 million just on the budget for the movie. That's not even including like advertising and promotion for the movie. So a lot of times these movies got to make almost $1 billion really to break even.
Oh, here's the thing. Willy's Wonderland's budget was only 5 million. Oh, but the movie only grossed in like near half a mil. Damn. That sucks.
Yeah, that means they probably that means that's not gonna make them the sequel to it.
Oh no. They would have been great though.
Because yeah, Nicolas Cage is always kind of that one guy that's kind of like doing like these weird offbeat movies nowadays. But if, like I said, it's made if it's made that much, which means it's already made its budget back plus its marketing, and so it's all the movie's already in profit after the first weekend. So anything after this is just icing on the cake for them.
Oh, definitely. There definitely is room for another sequel. On the Willy's Wonderland, there might be another sequel coming, give or take.
Cause you said they spent about a million, 1.5 on it, right?
Hmm.
You said they spent about what $1 million on the making it.
Yeah, 5 million making Willy's Wonderland, but apparently, according to the writer, there might be a sequel due to it being a cult classic. Hmm.
Mm,
But Five Nights at
it,
Freddy's
it
movie,
it
that
depends. Like
is
if it's stream because it's on streaming, so if it's been getting decent streaming numbers, then those also could make up for the fact that it didn't make as much in the theaters. But now we're getting into movie math.
yeah. Let's just hope they quit. Oh, going over budgets or like put it going wait because you can blame the Marvel films on this. Just throwing too much money out there and effects and everything, advertisements.
Yeah, but even they're starting to feel the effects of that with pretty much none of their movies. None. I'm trying to think. The only one I don't think none of the movies in the last few phases have even touched $1 billion yet.
No, nope. And they got to learn real fast.
Yeah, because they right, you can tell now that they're pivoting when it comes to Marvel, especially with the fact that now that they basically fired everybody who was involved with Daredevil and starting over
Oof.
with that. Echo, they're gonna dump the whole series in one day, which they've never done before. It's always been weekly, but Echo is gonna get dumped on there just every episode the first day. Agatha Harkness series has been pushed back. The Ironheart series has been pushed back. A lot of the series that was supposed to be coming out, was supposed to have been out, are now being pushed back and possibly canceled. Is they kind of try to basically figure out what they're gonna do. Because honestly, after Endgame, they should have did what everybody was saying they should have did, which is basically just reboot the whole universe. Because you got the X-Men, you got the Fantastic Four now. Okay, how are you gonna bring them in? And I know they're trying to use Secret Wars as the way to basically merge everything together, but I honestly think I have no faith in them being able to do it right.
I just like listen, just make movies that you don't have to make a series of. Just make some like the DC did with their animated series. Just make good movies. They did a Infinity War thing or whatever, their animated stuff, but just make good animated movies. They don't have to all be linked together.
Mm. I say, no, that's what the universe was made off of. Like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, they weren't all linked together. Like you had that one little what's the end credit scene that kind of gives you that link, but the movie didn't depend on that link and connection between the next movie. Nowadays, it's just kind of here's movie sets up next movie that sets up the next movie that sets up the next movie that culminates in Avengers. It's like it's too interconnected now, where none of the movies really stand on their own.
Yeah, it's but we'll see. But
We'll see.
overall, Five Nights at Freddy is definitely a good watch, folks.
Let's say
Any final thoughts, sir?
if you got Peacock, go ahead and watch it. It's on there, or basically go to the theaters and support your local theaters. Because with this whole actor strike now, we're probably not gonna get any movies. Most likely to, from what I understand of what most producers are saying, we're probably not gonna get any movie to the summer of next year, like new movies. So support your local theaters. Go see some. Cause they'll probably do like reruns of old movies, classic movies, and just try to keep the theaters alive. Cause if they do like they did last time with COVID, where they almost pretty much went out of business, it, all we're gonna have is streaming. And I don't know, it's something about going to a movie theater and being in a theater with people and enjoying a movie together, like a communal experience. But I guess like this generation kind of wants to just be at home, just look at everything streaming, just be by themselves. Sometimes I don't get it, but just go ahead and check it out, guys. Y'all definitely will love the movie for the holiday as it is.
Definitely give it a fair shake. You'll probably enjoy it. But other than that, folks, that's going to be it for us on this episode of the Questionable Perspective podcast. You all have a wonderful night.
Y'all take care of yourself. We'll see y'all next time.